Sinister. Stories.
Hunter or hunted. Nick and Ted from the YouTube channel The Hunting Public are out bow hunting on public lands in the remote wilderness of Missouri.
Okay.
Suddenly they hear something that sends chills down their spines.
What?
Now, let me say before I show you these clips, in accordance with YouTube guidelines, no one is shown being hurt in the following video. There's absolutely no evidence that any crime was committed in this video or that anyone was injured in any way. Alright, so, while Nick and Ted are hunting, they hear a gunshot, followed by some insane screaming. They immediately grab their camera and start recording. Now, Nick and Ted are in such a remote area of the Missouri woods that they have no cell service to call the authorities. So, all they can do is listen.
It sounds like...
chills all down my back. Yeah. Somebody is screaming at the absolute top of their lungs over there. Very not good obscenities to someone else. I've never witnessed anybody screaming like that. Yeah.
That's... Wow.
Something not good's going on.
You think?
Again, Nick tries to call someone to report the incident, but they still can't find a spot in the woods with cell service.
We ain't got any service in here, so can't call the police and tell them to go over there and see what the heck's going on, but sound like something off a dang horror movie over there. I mean, we're just scaring a guy that's absolutely losing his mind over there.
Yeah.
At this point, Nick and Ted are totally freaked out. They just head back to their truck so that they can get out of there and call the police.
I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department.
How do you pinpoint that, though?
I was hunting, me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, which is not uncommon, but then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just obscenities, and it sounded like something really bad was going on over there, and there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening.
Right.
I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring. We didn't know what to do, and we had no service, so we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there.
Days later, Nick and Ted provide an update on what happened after their terrifying encounter.
I hope nobody
in the
was
woods.
hurt or
So after
killed.
that hunt, you can see we alerted proper authorities, and the days following that event, I had some contact with the state game warden, and they told me that they found nothing on this situation, and they went in there, and there was nothing to be found.
Even though Nick and Ted reported the disturbing incident and even provided GPS coordinates to local authorities, nothing was found at the site. There's absolutely no evidence that any kind of horrible event ever took place there.
Hopefully not.
It freaked us out, and we really got unsettled by it, and we weren't scared that someone wasn't coming after us, but we had heard something that it could have been. Your mind goes to think about what could that be, and I immediately go to worst case scenario.
So did Nick and Ted just hear someone having a random temper tantrum or a breakdown?
That's possible.
Was it just someone freaking out and maybe just shooting guns at a tree stump?
Letting off steam. I hope that's all it is.
Or was it something much more disturbing? You decide. For the full-length version of this video, be sure to check out the channel, The Hunting Public.
Right?